Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comic Wall. It's me, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 2 of Nick Spencer's The Amazing Spider-Man. I can get that out. Anyway, first let me gush about this cover because I am absolutely loving first off the art, of course, but I'm loving the color blending. Like colorist Laura Martin, she's doing a great job with this color scheme, and I'm absolutely loving this. Not to mention the fact that yellow is my favorite color. So just seeing it all over this cover is just, sorry, my light's getting in the way. Seeing it all over this cover is just doing me some justice. So thanks, Laura. Anyway, jumping right in, we get a different tone of story than we did in issue 1. Issue 1 felt a little too depressing, to be honest. It felt like it felt like Peter was kind of like Mysterio. It felt like Peter Parker was kind of in a rut, and with everything, with him losing the respect of his peers, and um you know uh having to be sent back to school, essentially everything about his life just seemed to be crashing down around him, and so it just felt a little depressing. But in this issue, I I haven't laughed this much in any comic series. Invincible was pretty good at making me laugh, but to be honest, like issue 1 made me laugh a few times here and there, but this one just, it every time I turned a page, I was just laughing and giggling, like it was just hilarious. And so we start off with Peter talking about how life can be pretty unpredictable. Sorry. And you're minding your own business one day, and then the next everything falls apart. And then they show the poaching of an elephant, which makes me sad because I love elephants. They're one of my favorite animals. I mean, next to otters, but he's just like. Anyway, we jump to this next scene where it's a fight sequence between Spider-Man and Man Mountain Marco and the Ringer. And it's pretty stupid what these guys were trying to do. They were trying to rob a book fair that like it says here, that advertised some pricey first editions. Now, I can understand that because collecting comics, I always want to get the first prints, and most of the comics I collect rarely have second prints. But just the fact that I collected a couple of books that I really wanted to get the first edition just because it felt more real, other than just getting a reprint. It's like the difference between having an actual painted portrait versus like printing one out off the internet. It's not as unique. Anyway, these guys had such a stupid plan. They wanted to steal these books and then sell them off on eBay or whatever. And Spider-Man kicks their asses. He takes out the Ringer. He takes out Marco and webs them up into a little cocoon for the police to pick up. And one of the things that made me laugh was the fact that he found like a 2-for-1 deal or something on these books, and when they're given to him for free from the bookseller, and he gives two of them to Marco and the Ringer, and Spider-Man seems really chipper here. He's not. I mean, after last issue, you think he'd be a little depressed or whatever, but no, he's really happy. He's really just peppy. And even these guys are just like, "You're giving these to us," and he's like, "Yeah, you guys are gonna probably need them in where you guys are going, and if you guys get paroled, let's book club it, whatever. I'll make brownies, whatever." And so, one of the other things that made me laugh is that Marco says he seems like he's in a really positive place, and the Ringer's just like, "Yeah, good for him." I just love this so much, and this is one of the reasons why I love these kind of comics, because you can put so much humor into them, and it doesn't get old. And if you do it right, it doesn't get old. And Nick Spencer does it right because I just love the humor in this issue. Anyway, the next scene we see the reason why he's so happy. He's back with Mary Jane. And these guys are so adorable. And I love the way Ryan just makes this couple work. He just knows how to put two people together. And plus the fact that we have just such an amazing artistic team with Ryan Ottley, Cliff Rathburn, and Laura Martin. This is a dream team, guys. I am loving this, and I'm just so excited for this series. Anyway, they're cuddling in bed. They're kind of just talking about their life together, how Peter loves her so much, and my heart. Anyway, just the fact that they've been together through so much, and they're still trying to make it work. They're still putting everything aside to make this work. And they're taking this as like giving themselves a fresh start, trying to make this work. And when that sequence ends, we actually jump back to the end of issue 1, where Peter is sent back to school, and one of the first classes he's attending is being taught by the Lizard, aka Dr. Kirk Connors. And this is confusing to me because I always thought that obviously the Lizard is one of Spider-Man's biggest enemies, but he's no one seems alarmed by his appearance or by his person in general. And even Peter's concerned because he's like, okay, and everyone don't panic. Experience supervillain attack person here. Find your nearest exit, whatever. But no one's listening to him. They're like, what the hell, dude? Anyway, the woman who is practically behind the reason why Peter got sent back to school, she's explained to Peter that, hey, Professor Connors here is not a threat to anyone. He's an esteemed member of our faculty. And we actually see the Lizard transform back into Dr. Kirk Connors, and we see that turns out he's gotten control of his lizard form due to a surgically embedded and adamantium encased inhibitor chip. And as we know, adamantium is one of the strongest elements or materials in the Marvel universe, next to what is it? Next to vibranium. Sorry, it just escaped me for a second. And turns out that this chip helps him control the lizard side a little better. He says that if I try to harm any living being in any way, if I so much as hiss in the wrong direction, the chip paralyzes me until I eventually revert to human form. And it's a breakthrough we pioneered right in this class. And so it turns out Dr. Connors really wants Peter back in his class. They were good friends back in the day when he was going to school, and he was given a second chance thanks to the fact that he donated a lot of his research and what else, just different patents he's created throughout the years to the university. And so they decided to give him a second chance. And so talking about second chances, they're saying to Peter, like, remember the spirit of second chances, because we're giving you, Dr. Connors is offering you this opportunity to be in his class and help you, earn your graduate degree, basically. And it's pretty cool because Dr. Connors welcomes Peter with open arms. I'm not sure, I'm pretty positive that he doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man, but just the fact that, he's pretty chill with them, and he's welcoming them back into the fold. It's pretty comforting, and I'm pretty sure Peter could use a friend, especially in a time like this where he's been accused of cheating on a grand academics scheme of things. Now, while that's going on in that room, we actually see these two janitors who are kind of skulking about the university. And we find out that these janitors aren't just janitors. They're Taskmaster and Black Ant. And these guys are up to something because apparently they've been hired for something that is giving them a pretty good paycheck. And we find that out while Peter and Dr. Connors are talking. And in this next scene, we see just what they're researching in his class, because when Dr. Connors pulls Peter aside to this machine, he's showing him the isotope genome accelerator. And of course, this is the machine that led to the radioactive spider biting Peter and thus turning him into Spider-Man. And so this is a familiar thing to him. And turns out what they're trying to do is reverse engineer the effect of transmutated characteristics. Well, I'm butchering it here, the explanation here, but the way they describe the accelerator is used to transmute characteristics of one organism to another, and what they're trying to do is reverse engineer that so that they could isolate and divide hybrid properties, like Dr. Connors with his lizard morphing ability. And so turns out this is what Taskmaster and Black Ant are after, because they bust through the door and pretty much take the classroom hostage. And so Dr. Connors turns into the lizard to try and like protect his students, but the inhibitor chip has a different idea of what he's trying to do and paralyzes him. So he's out for the count basically. And so Peter has to think quick because there's no other exits, there's no other closets or places where he can change into Spider-Man. And so he sees some chemicals off to the side, and so his first thought, make a smoke bomb. So he starts talking crap to Taskmaster, saying like, "Is that your real face? I know I know it used to be a mask, and then you had an accident or something." And like, did someone rip off your face? Was it Wolverine? I bet it was Wolverine. And so Taskmaster gets pissed and just throws them off to the side near to these chemicals that Peter was eyeing before. And so he webs one of the chemicals and mixes it with another, and boom, smoke bomb, because it's that easy, you know? I mean, the last time I mixed chemicals the wrong way, I had to stand under the shower for 5 minutes. Anyway, so Spider-Man jumps through the green smoke and everything, and he takes these guys out like nothing. And of course he's just making jokes, saying, "I have a feeling they'll be asking for a refund, whoever hired you, but I have no idea how that works or how you guys even get paid. Is it through PayPal? Tough to get refunds on that PayPal." And it really is. And so after the fight, the lizard is actually able to stand again and able to move. And he's like, "It's great to see you, Spider-Man, but how did you even get in here?" And Spider-Man makes a quick explanation about proportional teleportation abilities of a spider or whatever, you know? And so he's like, everybody's safe. Well, almost everybody. Here, pal, let me give you a hand. Hey, wait a sec, I know you. You're Peter Parker, and you're Spider-Man. And all of a sudden, Peter and Spider-Man, two of the same people, are looking at each other. What? Like, this doesn't even make sense. And so, when I was reading this with my boyfriend, we figured out that, holy crap, whatever they're working on obviously works to an extent. Because we see the next issue, and I mean, it's just as misleading as this issue. You know, they didn't exactly fight, but you never know. They're not not all covers could be misleading, and so obviously, whatever they did, it split the person or the characteristics of Spider-Man, who's cocky and jokester, and Peter Parker, who's kind of pretty much the same. And so I can't wait to see what happens, because this is just amazing, and I am so excited for this series. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, drop a like, show the love, hit that subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications when I post new videos, so that way you guys stay updated and don't miss out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.